Okay. Shout out to all my barbers and shout out to all my stylists. We are Beards and Baldheads, your host Fat Lace. I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to have some fly shirts for the summer, B. I got the Soul Survivor Barry to the right of me.
Yo. Every Monday.
My favorite day of the week. And I'm happy it's yours too, because I get to see one of my favorite people. I get to see Soup on the other side. Always holding it down, making us look good. Do I need Soup now to make me blush, y'all? Peace to everybody on the check-in. You know, it's got a special night, B.
Okay.
It's a special night when, oh man, I don't even like getting in. I'm trying not to share one, B, because it means so much. He means so much. This guest that we had, that to the point where I'm like, yo, how am I supposed to introduce?
Okay.
I see him on shows, and he has he's just a voice that you just want to keep listening to. You just want to keep hearing what he has to say. And he means so much to me. But he says, waste your time, not mine. So I don't want to waste my time or his. If you check his IG page, that's what he said. And B, we talk about sports all the time. We are both former athletes. We're former athletes. Me with the track and field and with the football. B, we done played it all.
Yeah.
We done played it all,
Yeah.
you know? And our guest, we're going to have to scale back from where he's at right now for all the greatness achievements. You know, before he became the founder and director of the Marin County Corporation team, we gotta scale back a little bit. Because when I met him, he was the man he's one of the most decorated track and field athletes.
Okay.
From Trenton. Now, I could say America, easy.
All right.
I could say New Jersey, easy. But when you say Trenton, New Jersey, when people know about that track and field from Trenton Central, when you see that red and black, when they put those Adidas on, it hits your soul something different. So I'm trying to tell you, so I mean, because Plainfield and Trenton, everybody knows, I'm a Plainfield guy, Plainfield track runner. Some say I could have been a star. Maybe. Hey. So let me tell you a little bit of history, y'all. So like in 1980, Penn Relays is the biggest track and field meet in the world at this time in 1980.
True.
And it happens in April. Now, this was such a special year for track and field and for Trenton, because this year they got all the top high schools, and the top high schools get to these rounds where you call the Championship of America. And Trenton won the 4x4 and the 4x8 this same year, and they only had like 20 minutes in between their races.
Okay.
Now, what happened about 20 days before they made this magnificent feat, April 4th to be exact, a young king was born. The one who had next, the chosen one, was born.
Okay.
And this man right here, coming from the Miller homes of Trenton, I think that's what 152 Mama Street. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. Maybe it's about it. It's about it.
Okay.
You know, was a 1994 Jesse Owens national champion.
It's Jesse Owens game.
The 1997 All-American in the sprint medley relay with the Trenton team. We're going to get to that story. The 1998 New Jersey Track and Field Athlete of the Year. I gotta talk about this man who I love so much, and I see him talking about all his amazing feats and everything that he does. And when I watch him, I say, these other people who have him on their show, they don't understand who he was at that time coming up.
Right.
Such a phenomenal man, such a phenomenal athlete. I got my brother Shamir Reynolds in the building.
Man, thank you, my brother. I really, really appreciate you. You know, I really don't talk about my track history, especially with people who really don't know about track. And I'll ask them what you run, then your time will depend on will depend on if we continue this conversation or not.
No doubt. Yo, it is, and I know that you don't. And we're gonna talk about all these other great things that's been going on in the struggles, in the triumphs. We're gonna talk about all that, but we have to shed light on who you were at this time, because I'm seeing all these other sports get so much credit, and I'm not like the new track guy who wants to disrespect basketball. I don't want to disrespect any other sport, but I like when I got my track comrades next to me, and the way we vibe off each other and what we understand from the hard work. Now, the events that he did were the man events, the make you or break you events. He ran everything from the 100B to the mile.
That's
2
crazy.
mile.
2 mile.
That's
2 mile. Let's be
crazy.
clear. The 2 mile.
That's not normal.
It's there you go, B.
No, that's not normal to be a sprinter and long distance.
It is not normal.
That's three different type of strategies.
3 different type of strategies, and I'm trying to.
Training is different for
What?
all of them. Yeah, that's a lot of discipline, bro.
What? So I'm trying to think where I want to start from. What we could start from when we met, and what I felt like was perfect timing. Exactly 2 weeks ago, my birthday weekend, 30 years ago, I participated in the Jesse Owens track and field games, and they had one in Plainfield. Everybody from around the way they come through Union County, and we run. And I did it for a Mother's Day gift. My mother said, for Mother's Day, I ain't got no money. It's 8th grade. You're gonna do this for me.
Okay.
So now I get in the race and I win. Then I go to Philly, and I went out in Philly, and I always had a dream of you watch these movies, you always want to go to California. California is where you want to be. So I'm like, I want to be in Cal. I'm running across the 100-yard meter line. I'm like, California, just happy to get there. And now I get there. And what made these Jesse Owens games so special was sponsored by Arco. They took children from all over America, and I mean talking about East Coast, West Coast, Gold Coast, where Jameer is right now, because he's out in Marin City. They got the boys from Oakland out there, and they got the ones from Southern Cal. They got them from Texas. They got them from Alaska. We met people from Alaska, Seattle. We're meeting all these people participating, and our souls just gravitated towards each other. And I'm like, man, that was 30 years ago when it happened. I sent them this picture the other day. We had an awards dinner, and it was the state of California had the 30 years on it. I'm going through pictures at my parents, and I'm like, yo, let me see this. And I came across this picture because we ain't just participate. We represented for the East Coast. This is before East Coast, West Coast beef out here.
Okay.
And we represented for Jersey.
That's what's up.
And we came back with the gold. If y'all can see this picture right here, I had the church suit that was oversized for me. and I only had one black one. And that's me and Jameer sitting next to each other like, yo.
Now, was
we got the gold.
Everybody was representing a different event, or was most of y'all racing relays, or what?
So what it was, great question, B. So who started it off to win the gold was Jameer.
Okay.
Very first race of the night was the 400 meter. And I'm looking at him like, yo, you running all the way around?
That's what you said.
I'm new to track. I was new to running it, watching it forever, because my uncle, who's great friends with Coach Jennings, let's salute to Coach Jennings, one of the best coaches ever. My uncle Ron Upperman, I used to go to pin relays all the time when I was a youngin'. So I used to, and I'm like, that one lap around is different. He runs, he whoops on him. And I'm like, I'm on the side just cheering, like, yeah, man, get him, man. And he won it. And now we're roommates at this time. I had to kick my other roommate out. That's a whole nother story. So now we're roommates, and I'm like, I got the very last race. Other than I got the 100 meter, and I win the 100. So now it feels real good when your roommate, your teammate, you can experiencing you're a national champion. And we are 14 years old. My birthday just happened, and it was a great experience that I will never forget. Mm-hmm. And it's an experience that you manifested forever. Well, not forever. Before you were even 14, we gonna talk about when you had the dream of being on an airplane and then being at the airport, to be exact. We're gonna talk about that. Before we get to it, let's talk about how you knew you was nice in elementary school. Right? We got kids today will never know how serious field day was.
Yes, sir.
They don't know. I see your son cop some medals up not too long ago, but it was something about this field day. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you went to school with Dallas or Cletus and all them, some of them monsters, some of those beasts out there. And when I'm talking about Trenton sports, but yo, could we get to when we was in elementary? When did you realize, yo, I'm that dude when it's coming to track?
Well, you know, Dallas and Titus are my brothers.
Yes, peace to them.
Yeah, right. I was 7, and my stepfather Thurston, he ran on the '83 team that almost won the Pens. And so he was like, he told my mom, he was like, Tanya, like Jameer walk on his toes a lot. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you run around the neighborhood or whatever. So one day he was like, I'm gonna take you to Trenton Track Club at Trenton High. Okay. And I got out there, and it was like, you know, everyone was looking like, damn, you were born to do this. And I didn't take it serious. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're only 7.
Right? I'm 7. But what a lot of people didn't know was, even at 7, I was still working out with my stepfather.
Okay.
So I was literally building a machine. So by the time I got to middle school, I'm tearing shit up.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, it was fun, right? It was fun. You get out there and you run, but once you start going from elementary to middle school, that's when I should start becoming a business. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, hey, we can't travel unless Jameer is coming. You know what I'm saying? You know
that pressure.
And, right? And you remember when we were in school, the Simplot games in Idaho was really, really big. And I didn't go to, no lie, this is the dumbest stuff ever. Moving ahead a little bit. I didn't go to sectionals because I went to the prom.
You weren't that dumb. I skipped sectionals by sophomore year because my freshman year, I want to go to Dorney Park. This is true story. I made it to sectionals. No, matter of fact, I ran sectionals. I made it to all groups. But I'm like, and I know my uncle had to be disappointed because he's my track coach. And I'm like, Uncle Ron, I want to go to Dorney Park with my class.
Right.
I don't want to go to all groups.
Right.
Something that we take for granted. Mm-hmm. And how you saying you didn't want to go. Because, see, this, it used to be times, and I don't want to speed up, where I'm like, yo, where's Jameer? Where's Jameer? I know he's the fastest, and I'm looking in the newspaper, and when I don't see him there, I know it's not because he ran and lost. Right. He just wasn't there. You know, so we're going to get back. Before it gets, so now it's middle school. See, it's a different pressure. Mm-hmm. Because when we talk about the 80s, and those teams in Trenton were something, even prior to. And I'm talking about guys and girls teams.
Yeah. So you got to remember, we had Dow Jeffries, who was 46-45 in the 70s in high school. Then we had Wendy Vereen, who went to the Olympics.
Yes, indeed.
We had Kevin Mitchell, him and John Marshall were my idols in high school.
Yes, indeed.
Who was a Plainfield representative.
Yes, indeed.
And so before I got to Trenton High, people knew who I was. So I came into the school with an expectation of like, yo, like he coming. But the seniors had a difficult time. Like, cause I'm skinny, right? In high school, I weighed about a buck 55. I was so skinny that they had to tape up my jersey in the back so it wouldn't be like flapping when I'm running. And a lot of people heard Al Jennings talking about me, and I had just come off Jesse Owens, and I want to say something too. Like you talked about me winning, the first night. Um, it's kind of difficult to talk about because I shared this with you. When I
Let's go
won,
there.
I called home
Let's go there.
and I told you this. And I was trying to share with my mom and my stepfather that I won, and they were arguing. And I really couldn't. You stood with me at that phone booth while I'm on the phone shouting and screaming and crying like, yo, I won, I won. But they couldn't shake whatever the things that there was going on. And you were the only person at that time who comforted me to get me through it. And that changed our relationship forever. And so, I know I told you before, but I'm going to say it in front of people. I thank you for being with me, being that shoulder, doing one of the highest and lows of my life at that time, because what people didn't know was we ran, the regular rounds, and the regionals were held at LaSalle.
Yeah.
We didn't have money to get there. And my stepfather and I were digging in the couches looking for change because we coming from Jersey to PA. It's a toll. We need gas. And he had a van that didn't work well. We didn't have money to eat. And I made a promise to him. I said, if you get me there, I'm going to win. And I'm going to go to California and win. And at LaSalle that day, that was one of the hottest days of the year.
It was super hot.
To where people were passing out. And, at week 13, 14, running rounds. We running rounds. And one of the fathers there was like, Jameer, I had a dream that you had a gold bowl on your head for this meet today. But I remember keeping that promise to my stepfather, like, dog, if you just get me here, I'm winning. And so, again, man, like I said, I really thank you for being there with me, because we became family at that moment because you saw me at one of my most vulnerable moments, and you got me through. And then after I got off the phone, you was like, man, shake it off. I'm here. We had the best time. I just wanted to publicly thank you.
Man.
Yeah, that's real.
When it was happening, I thought they were tears of joy when I saw you crying. And I'm watching you on a TED Talk when we got back together, and I'm just watching your videos, and you're talking about that time, and I said, I didn't find out until that time, till watching what took place, because this was phone booth time, y'all. I want people to be clear. This is when you had privacy, right, and you closed the booth and you talking. But I just see him crying. I'm just thinking, it's tears of joy, right, and I didn't know what was taking place at home, right, at that time. So it shook me up, and it still does, because it's from that was a special time in both our lives. And man, you talking about how the struggle. I'm gonna tell you a song that hit me. You got a favorite Wu-Tang member?
It's a toss up between Ray and Ghost.
And I knew you were gonna say that. And me, it's Ghost, but I was like, yo, because first of all, because Ray be putting them things on, and Ghost be putting them things on, and the drip be real, and same for me when he be putting putting them clothes on. You know, like we see you right here.
No doubt.
We see how you get busy. Yeah, I don't care what country you in, what city you in. You put it on. You put it on. And sometimes, you know, when you see the flyest people, sometimes the flyest people came from the hardest struggle. And Wu-Tang is super fly with their slang when they talk and when they walk and when they get right, but especially Ray and Ghost. And Ghost got the song, All That I Got Is You.
Mm-hmm.
And when you know the line, so when he says 15 of us in a 3-bedroom apartment, roaches everywhere, cousin and aunts was there.
Me.
And when I'm listening to it, I'm like, and you're talking about you growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, that's Jameer's story.
Mm-hmm.
That's your story right there, Miller Holmes right there. In Trenton. Peace to everybody in Trenton. Peace to everybody on the check-in. I didn't say that. We got West Coast time out here. Tell us how it is when you're running track.
Mm-hmm.
You're amazing in this sport.
Mm-hmm.
But now you got stuff going on at home.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to produce for everybody that needs something from you outside of your home.
Mm-hmm.
What was going on at home and what's going on at school, and how are you balancing that with track and field?
So, like, growing up, you know, me being from Miller Holmes Projects, like, to give you some context, you needed permission to come in there. You understand? To where if you wasn't from there, you literally getting wrapped up. And growing up in that and me running track because it was a common sport, and I'm going to say this for all the people out there, at that young age, the people around me couldn't fathom how good I was. So it was like, oh, you wearing them little ass shorts, you gay, why you out there running with them, you know, them little shorts, not understanding that you're talking to the fucking top 13, 14-year-old in America.
Yes.
And what it forced me to do was to become angry. So I start being in the streets real heavy, you know, fighting. You know what I mean? I wasn't ever.
You was Jew Rock at the time.
Yeah, I was Jew Rock at the time. I wasn't ever disrespectful to anybody, like any older people, but you know, then I would deal with that. So I'm fighting there. And in my house, my mom was a teenage mom. And so my grandmother raised me. But I'm my mom's only son. So, and I could share this because I want people to hear it. Like, I used to get jumped by my cousins. So not only am I fighting in the streets, I'm fighting in my house. And so I gotta hear your mom don't want you. That's why you over here. Like, my last name Reynolds. Everybody else's last name is Hazel. Right? So then I would hear you not really part of the family. And the crazy part is my grandmother had 8 kids. 4 of them are really Reynolds. But they just took her last name.
260 relatives throughout Trenton.
For sure.
Just to
Sure.
I'm born there.
the people, yeah, B. This is why I was like, B, you gonna connect. So when he says cousin, you got cousins on cousins and aunts on aunts, uncles on uncles. Y'all are deep.
Nah, we are deep. You understand? And Trenton, for those who don't know, Trenton is only 7 square miles.
My family from Sweets Avenue.
Yeah. Okay. North Trenton.
Yeah, Fountain Ave.
Yeah, you got North Trenton.
Yeah, that's my family.
So, yeah, so you know, so not only am I fighting in the streets, I'm fighting at home, right? I never had an issue with academics, you know what I'm saying? So when I would go to track, like when I first, my first day of high school, I remember going to school and I'm with the homies, and I go out back, and everybody like they like, you know, that's Jameer, whatever, and this dude cracked a joke. And I was like really I'm really on my Jew rock. And I was like, I said, yo, stay right there. So I went and got, the homies. I was like, yo, fam, like say what you said. But that was because I was so angry about what was happening to me. But when I finally got to track practice, when I'm on a track, I feel free. I felt like I can control this. Everything else in my life I can't control. But when I line up, I know that can't nobody beat me, period. And so, running a lot, fighting at home, my dad was doing what he could do. Like, my mom was 16, my dad was 18, right? So kids raising kids. So I had my grandmother, then I got, 8 aunts and uncles, and my brothers grew up on the other side of town.
Okay.
So it was just me. And so that's what the transition was. Track provided me a safe haven. I hated going home after practice. This is the crazy part. When we got home from Jesse Owens, dude, I literally cried all the way home. And then I went and sat on a bench in my projects, and I was like, I can't be here. I'm 14 years old. I was like, I can't, because I had a taste of what was out there. I was like, I can't be here. I won't be here. And so, again, answering your question, like fighting in the streets, fighting at home, hustling, and this is the crazy part. I'm the number one 14-year-old in the country.
Number one. I want everyone to be clear. I'm right there with them.
No, he's not saying the state.
No, this is the country. Right here, we are on this stage. We are in California.
Right.
We in Southern Cal. And like I said, it's everybody in the country.
Yeah.
I'm right there for the 100. That's Jameer looking down, like representing America, the East Coast,
right.
Winning. Number one. And it's so ill because you get back home and people are not giving the respect like, yo, that's that dude. I had to face the same thing. Lucky I played football.
But see, that's the thing. You know what? It's crazy because that's what's going on today. It hasn't changed.
And this is why we need these conversations.
But like you said, if it wasn't for the Olympics, a lot of these top track guys wouldn't even be known unless you were a track person.
Yeah, unless you're a track person.
If you're a track person, of course you know them. But if you're not a track person,
right, B.
If you're a casual Olympic watcher, if you don't know anything about track, if you never ran track, you didn't know who Noah Lyles was.
Nope.
And that's sad.
It is.
For real, it's sad. So I don't understand why like ESPN and these networks don't actually show the matches. And they see how much attention they get during the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Why you think we're not ready to watch it? Why you think people are not into it yet?
Because they don't show it. They're not showing high school track.
They're not showing. That's all it is exposure.
That's it.
That's the only thing.
That's it.
I mean, come on. We all love speed. That's all we talk about.
Real talk.
In every sport, that's all they talk about. Speed. So you can market that easily.
Yeah, easy.
You can easily market speed. You can't, because you can't teach it. You can teach somebody to be faster, but you got to be born with it. A lot of it is born as talent, but you could be taught to be faster. But a lot of it is talent.
A lot of it is talent, and then when you got the person who works hard with talent,
that's it.
I'm having a conversation with Jermaine, and some people who didn't believe who he is. Like, if y'all look right there, these are results for 1997 national championship. When you see Central, Trenton, New Jersey. That top 3 is all Americans right there. Mm-hmm. The people that they didn't beat was one of the best teams ever in America ever, with John Muir and Obi Moore and them, and then got the team from Alexander. Like, these guys are juniors at the time.
This is the crazy part, though, Jay. We were in the second heat, and what people don't know is that if you're familiar with Obi Moore and his story and who he is. He was Quincy Wilson before there was ever a Quincy Wilson.
We spoke about that. I think you might have seen that episode when we... Right? Yes.
But what people don't know is that I was in the second heat and he was in the first. Only our first splits our first 200s were different for the 800. So which means if I was in a heat with him, I would have bust his ass.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
No, and I'm serious.
No, I'm serious too.
No doubt.
Right?
And we're
you
talking
gotta
about the
remember,
best in America.
Period.
Yes, period.
hands down. He was running 45s and 149s and all this other stuff.
16 years
But
old.
when we got to Boston, our heat, we were in the second heat.
Okay.
And when I got done, no lie, John Muir came up to me and was like, yo, you are fucking bananas. Because people were clocking.
It was different.
Yeah.
I'm already at the hotel. Now how things switch. How things switch. At this point, now 94, I'm national champion.
Okay.
He's national champion. Now it's 97. I get fourth to last. I get fourth to last, hurting the next day. But the inspiration. So now I'm thinking, I ran my worst race ever that day.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, but the night before, we got a party. They throw a party for you. And at the party, I see my Trenton brothers coming with medals. They got armor, and I'm like, yo, I need that. I see Charmaine Walker getting that medals. I'm like, I need that. I need a part of that. It ignited a fire in me and in my team. But it just made me believe again, yo, work harder. You can get it. You can get it. Now, B, I'm going to tell you, the very next year, we are national champions.
Right.
My plane flew 4x2, and our 4x4 got second. So we're all Americans now.
Okay.
Man, it didn't feel 100% authentic. I'm going to say this. Because we battled with Trenton all the time. All the time. If you want to get the best out of each other, you want to see your race, watch Plainfield and Trenton go. This is my brother, and then we gonna pound each other up, and he know I'm gonna do what I gotta do, and I'm like, man, y'all do what we gotta do because he's coming. Jameer is coming, and every leg is leg for leg battling. It's leg for leg battling, and I'm like, when we got our accolades. We earned everything we got, but it didn't feel the same.
Right.
It didn't feel the same that next Nationals in 98 when I don't have you there.
Right.
And I never asked you before, but I'm going to ask you now. You know, what was taking place where, because you just won the winter track 98 Athlete of the Year. You're in track. He's in the stuff that I aspire to be in. He's in track and field, Star Ledger, track athlete of the week. I got the clippings cut out, put up in my photo album of Jameer. He's in track and field news. The stuff where, it's the top of the top, like Slam Magazine for basketball players. And now it's indoor nationals. And Trenton is one of the top in the country at one point. We're still bubbling. We're still earning our stripes as well. But they had it together before us, especially that 4x4 and that sprint med. Then I don't see you for the rest of the season.
I'm going to keep it a buck. I was so upset that I didn't have the team to compete with John Muir because that's who I'm chasing. I wasn't chasing anyone in New Jersey. I wanted John Muir High School, Sultan McCullough, Ja'Cory, Obi. Like, I was obsessed with them. And when you have a 46-45 in high school, ready to go, but your other three legs are 49, 49 low.
And mind y'all, these are good times. These are times I'm running. These are good times. But it's a level. I say how our relationship is, if people know about, because I call him the Kobe Bryant of our time when he's running. Well, I was Rip Hamilton. And if people know the relationship between Kobe and Rip, they both all Americans.
Yeah.
But one is really that guy. Other one's that guy too.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking at Jameer is on the coat, and it's a difference when I'm watching you, and you were superior to a lot of us. And man, I'm mad that you didn't want to keep rocking with the boy. Because I would ask his teammates, yo, what's up with Jameer at? Where Jameer at? Nobody would say nothing. Never talk bad. Didn't talk good. It was just like, Jay, don't ask me. And I got it from the silence, but I was concerned.
Right.
The Star Ledger called me the ghost. Because
not the goat, but the ghost.
The reason why they called me that is they listed, you know how they pick the pre-race winners? They literally picked me to win 4 events at the state meet. They said if he shows up, everyone is running for second.
Okay.
But he has to show up. But I was so hurt. Especially, remember, and I hope he watching this too. You already know who I'm talking about.
Lil Rob.
When we had the qualify for Melrose at Seton Hall.
Yep.
And we ready to go. And this one Melrose had wood.
There's some Melrose games in Madison Square Garden for everybody. Madison Square Garden has the Melrose games, and only 2 teams can go from Jersey.
That's it.
And we're all battling to go at Seton Hall, the same track you went 154 in December to be having. I think it was only 4 people ever to do it in America. I was there. I ran the same race. I was not in your race. So, mind you, this is like a month later. We're getting ready for the Melrose Games, one of the biggest meets for indoor track. And now y'all get there.
We get there. So I'm locked and loaded. And if you never ran on wood before, or when Melrose had that high bank, what I'm about to tell you probably don't make any sense. The first 2 legs put us behind. Then here come the third. And I'm running anchor. And what people don't know is that on a wooden track, I split 47-1. Like, I really want people to analyze that.
The track and field people, they gonna know. Peace to everybody on the check and peace to Louie, because I got Louis Smith, my boy, my brother Lou. I just spoke to before I called. He got him on the check. And peace to Lou, Uncle Craig, Dion, Danny, Shania. Peace to Willie. Peace to Coach Pate. Got Daniel. Peace to everybody on my track and field family that's watching. So the track and field people that are watching, they know exactly what this is for y'all.
Yeah, and when I got done, I didn't know. Like, I was so upset because I'm like, it was no way that they were supposed to beat us. And I told Rob to his face, like, yo, you know who I am. Like, let's not play. Like, you've seen my work up close and personal, right?
Rob tried to. Can I say this real quick? Rob tried to get talk spicy to me on Facebook. Yeah. This is where your brother I'm saying something about playing field, and us and Leonard P used to battle too. Like, it was good 4 or 5 teams that used to rock heavy against each other. And Jameer like, he don't play about me. Like, yo, Rob, don't even talk like that. You know what I used to do to you. Jay, don't even say nothing. I got continue though.
But so we lost.
And Rob was nice too. He definitely.
He was. Like, listen. I'm
Rob
not
was
taking,
definitely nice. Rob Gary, salute.
Right. I ain't taking nothing away from him. He got busy, but the truth is what it is.
Yes, indeed.
Right? And when we lost that race, something died in me, bro.
Damn.
Something literally, because I remember 94, the Nationals were at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. And I was watching Royce Reed, Jerome Young, right? I'm looking like that's where I want to be. And I'm thinking that I got the team to do it, and they weren't hungry. Like, I'm a killer. You understand? Mm-hmm. Like, at track meets, you know this, I only talk to you. And we had national meets, and I wouldn't even wear anything that had Trenton on it. Because the only time I wanted you to see me is when I'm lining up. And then once I get done, I'm going back into, I'm literally warming up in the locker room away from everybody. I only come out when it's time to get busy or when it's time to go. And I had to take some inventory, like, I'm never going to see John Muir. If we go to these Simplot games, you know, like, at the time, John Muir ran 311, 313 indoor. And when you gotta, no matter how good I am, I'm not going to be in the same race with them as far as relays, because Obi really didn't do the 800.
He didn't run it individual.
He didn't.
I'm trying to think, did he even run the Open 4 that year? I don't think
he didn't.
He didn't. It was just the team. And it's different when you come representing your team. I'm watching. It hurt, and I know it hurt you more because when you just said something died in you. When we're talking about the best of the best, and now it's spring season, and now I don't see you at the meets. I don't see you at nationals. I don't see you at states. I don't see nothing. And this is where it stopped being as fun as far as my homie, my brother, who I rock with, who always gives me confidence whenever I'm it's, yo, Jay, get it. Sometimes you need that extra that's not your teammate, and that was you.
What year was this? Like,
98.
You were a senior or you were
a junior going into my senior year.
Senior year is when
senior year.
Senior
I
year.
was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, after Melrose was nowhere to be found. This is about February, B, to give it context. Yeah. And peace to Angela. Hey, Angela. It was at that time where it's nationals. Now, mind you, just the year before.
Is that why they called you the Ghost? Because of that situation, or was before that?
Just period.
Period.
I was so.
This is 97 right here. All American. All you got to do is show up.
Right.
Got the same dudes. They guaranteed to win. Mm-hmm. The very next year, and you tasted it, the joy of winning.
Yeah, I just, and another reason why they would call me the Ghost, no lie, bro. I would show up to a track meet on a bike. Didn't warm up. I would run 4 races, get on my bike, and leave.
Okay.
Seriously. And, people be like, you're not gonna warm up for what? No, I got it. I'm good. And in a way, I was feeling myself.
Right.
Like, ain't no future in front. And like, prior to the Melrose, I ran 154 in December. That's the first meet of the year. That's the fastest time in December in high school history.
Okay.
I led the nation from one race to where when they got to the national championships, they didn't even beat my time. In the state of New Jersey, they didn't beat my time. When I ran that race, 4 seconds is a lot, right, on track. When I ran 154, the next fastest time was 158.
Man.
You know what I ran that day, B? Because I'm talking to Jameer that day. I'm like, yo, man, it's my first race. I just came from football. I got to run the 8. How should I run this? He like, nah, yo, Jay, just do it. Man, I ran like 15 seconds slower than his time. I'm watching him 2 heats in front of me. I should have been 10 heats behind. I'm watching him do this amazing race, and I'm like, well, damn, man, you just gave me advice. I got to try to do what I just saw you do, knowing I can't do it. Coach just put me in for a warm-up meet, for a warm-up race, and I'm like, well, I just seen the most amazing race just now.
But you know what, Jay, like, and like I said, like a lot of people don't know, my teammates were like are my real brothers.
Yes. And I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, like they're my real brothers, and I love them, and they always gave me 110%, right? But when you hear that you have an opportunity to be a Kevin Mitchell, to chase John Marshall, John Marshall is the GOAT.
Peace to Cam. Peace to everybody on checking. Yes, he is. So I think he still holds the record.
Right? And
Peace to
I
John.
would hear stories all the time about the people before me, because they say, oh, in the pin relays, it was 78 when they won the 4x4 and 4x8.
That was 78.
Yeah.
Uncle Ron, I'm gonna get you. You told me 80.
Yeah.
It was 70. Okay.
But they say a great runner is born every 20 years. I'm a senior in 98.
Yes, indeed.
So I'm literally like the one. And so when I'm coming, remember, I'm coming off of the national championship, went to the Junior Olympics, won the 200 and 400, right? I'm rocking and rolling. I'm number one. I'm all these things. And I'm like, okay, like Kobe had a kill list. I had a kill list. And the crazy part is none of the people that I wanted to kill was in New Jersey.
No doubt.
I'm looking at Brandon Couts, the Levine brothers from California, Obi Moore, Sutan McCullough. Like, I'm literally reading these. And at 16, I went to Seattle to train above sea level to open up my lung capacity. Because I knew when I got back, I'm tearing shit up. Okay. Because nobody is leaving from where they at. I spent 3 months training above sea level. And I came back down like I'm about to, and so me winning, you know, like even like the New Jersey athlete thing, you got invited by the New Jersey Nets to come down on the floor during halftime, bro.
What's up?
Only how I know, I seen Charmaine win it. So when I saw Charmaine, they get your school a bus. Talk about it, like to go to the
to the
Nets game, y'all.
In '98, I'm competing against other athletes. Al Harrington,
yes.
Dante Jones,
yes.
Yeah.
The person standing next to him is one of the Barber twins.
Peace to Mickey and Lisa.
Right? And this the crazy part. We went to the youth games. they probably ain't gonna remember.
And we talking about Olympians when we in world champions.
Mm-hmm.
They held my blocks.
That's a great
and when
feeling.
I was down on the floor,
that's a great feeling.
No lie. When I was down on the floor, my uncle was with me. I forgot which one it was, but it was like, yo, can you introduce us to him? Like,
and they are super cool. Super cool. Those are the homies.
It's hell. And the one thing that I liked about New Jersey is that wherever we went, we always stuck together.
Yes.
That's dope.
You understand? And I'm talking about, you know, Charmaine was a monster over the hurdles. Then we had Aaliyah. Then we had Columbia with the 4x8.
Montclair was crazy.
Montclair was ridiculous. Crazy. And so, you know, really dialing it back, I got a taste of, like, what it was like to be like on that all-star team when me and Lou was on a 4x4.
Who that 312? That
311.
311. Yes.
Right? Yeah. But this is the crazy part. We took third with a 311 in high school.
Man,
that team was crazy. Lou was my teammate in college, and we had our battles. And I love what we started learning about each other in life when we got to college. Last time I physically was next to you. I don't know if you remember. I think I told you. I'm in college, might be my freshman year. And I'm in Times Square. We both on dates. Wasn't nothing like them Times Square dates. Yep. And Jameer's across the street. Out of all the places in the world, we in one of the biggest cities in America. And I see him across the street. I'm heading back to New Jersey Transit. He just got off New Jersey Transit. And I'm like, man, and you know, give him a big hug. Peace. Might exchange numbers. I don't know if we had phone numbers back then. This before cells. It's like 99. And all the schools want you.
Mm-hmm.
All the schools want you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't run track in college. You don't run track in college. You chose to go to Shaw University, HBCU. Shout out to everybody from Shaw. You know,
You want to know why I didn't run?
yes, I do. Because I never asked you this.
Right. When I got there, mind you, I'm that nigga at the time.
Oh, and why did you choose Shaw? You could be at all these top to the tops.
Because I forfeited my scholarships. Yeah. And what a lot of people don't know was I actually went to basic training and AIT. And this is the crazy part. When I was at basic training,
Hold up, for like Army?
yeah. Yep. Yep.
This is what's happening.
And this is crazy because you run a 2 mile to warm up, right? So I run my 2 mile, I come in like 10:50. And they looking like, who the fuck? And one guy saw my name tag. His name is London Smalley. He said, yo, he was from California. He said, are you Jameer Reynolds from they say Trenton Central?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's me. He said, bro, my dad talk about you. You know what I'm saying? And, was doing that. And then I found out my aunt was diagnosed with AIDS. And I mentally wasn't there. I literally could have just stayed and ran in the army, right? Like easy work. But they were having a class about STDs and like people were laughing. And I asked the drill sergeant, like, can I address the class? I said, yo, y'all laughing. I said, a lot of y'all going to a graduation. I'm going home to a funeral. I said, because my aunt dying. And I was so messed up that the drill sergeant, I was like, yo, like, I want to go. He was like, I'm going to give you 3 commands. And if you disobey them, then, we're going to discharge you. And he was like, Reynolds, man, I don't think you should leave. Like, you could literally, we'll pay you to run. And I was so messed up. And so, he gave me the 3 commands and I came home. So I'm going through letters. And Shaw had a program. And I was like, I went down to Shaw. And when I got there, I'm still in shape. You know what I mean? I'm ready to rock. I ran into one of their athletes. And I said, yo, man, what you run for the 400? Yo, like, what's your times? Sneak said 49, man. I said, nah, blood, I can't do that, fam. I can't. Right now, anybody else be like, yo, that's an easy scholarship, right? But for me, being burned, I don't want to say burned, having a traumatic experience on being on a team that I couldn't go get it.
You got your brother at St. Aug at this time.
Yeah, with Coach Williams.
Yes.
With Pup, right? And for me, I wanted to make a name for myself. And what a lot of people don't know is that Coach Moon reached out.
I'm sure he did.
He said, you want to come to Seton Hall? And I was like, yeah, but this is the crazy part. I was in school and I didn't have enough money to pay my back balance, so I couldn't get my transcripts. So had it went the way it was supposed to, I would have been at the hall. And
I would have been seeing you and Tyrone Ross beating up on the same weekend like you. But, man, God is always on time. God is always on time. Not seeing you there, you could have had some people look at you and judge. He had the easy route. He could have easily did this. He could have. It wasn't nothing easy about your journey at all. You get down the show, and I'm telling you, some stuff is hard for me to even repeat and ask when I watch in real time. You get down there, you're on the train. I think it was a lady, Deborah and Tiffany. I think were the people that were on the train with you, and they Tell us about that train ride. You get there, and where you are at that time, coming from Trenton, taking the train down the shore. This is Raleigh, North Carolina, your HBCU.
Damn.
You got a case, you got a suitcase in a Ziploc bag of money,
That's it.
and you don't know where the hell you going for that first night.
Nah, my mom and my grandmother took me to the train station, and I was on the train, like, just stressing, like, I don't know where I'm gonna stay. You know, like, you could see it on my face. And the woman, she just walked by, and she was like, hey, baby, where you going? I was like, I'm going to, North Carolina. She was like, you going to school? I was like, yeah. She like, what school you going to? I was like, I'm going to Shaw. She was like, my daughter's going too. Okay, well, take care of yourself. 9 hours later, we pull into the train station in Raleigh. I don't know where I'm at. And I get off the train. I got my suitcase. And so they going to a hotel. Mind you, I'm not old enough to get a hotel room. And Miss Deborah was like, I'll help you out, son. I'll get you a room. And had it not been for Deborah and her daughter Tiffany, my first night in North Carolina, I would have slept on the streets. And, and I could say this because God bless the dead, my father, is no longer with us. But, like, people didn't know, like, my parents never visited me in college, dog. And even being, and I want to talk to people too, like, even being the greatest runner that I was, my parents really didn't know the magnitude of who I was. Because, like you said, bro, people weren't familiar with track. And so what a lot of people didn't know was, also, Jay, what you didn't know was that my father made me quit running so I can pay for my own prom shit. And when they came to see Charmaine Walker and a bunch of other people from Nebraska, when they came to Plainfield, and I believe they came to see me, and I was telling my dad, like, yo, like I got, they here, like, they want me. And he was like, they don't mean shit. You ain't shit because I ain't shit. You know what I mean? Now, keep it a buck. Like, I never disrespected my parents. You know what I mean? I was in the streets doing my 1-2, but they didn't have to come get me from jail. And, like, not having, like, the team that I really wanted, and then getting harassed at home, and then you look in the stands, it's nobody there. You feel me? Like, that's a lonely existence for being such a great athlete. And it's like, well, if nobody else cared, why should I care? If my uncle is coming home from jail and he gets more praise than me, who is in magazines and interviews and everything else, why should I care? And so when I got to Shaw, like, I don't know, maybe I was, and I'm picturing, I asked the dude, we was in the weight room. Maybe I was looking for him to say, come on, bro, and come, try out or whatever. But he didn't. And my brother Titus was at St. Aug. And what I started doing was I started selling coke, started robbing, you know what I mean? And I was still going to school. You know what I'm saying? I was really, and like,
was this you at this time right here?
Yeah, that's me. And the guy next to me with the Broncos jersey, I was stashed, coke in my room, and and be doing my Dougie, and because he from Newark.
Okay.
Like Zai's from Newark.
This look like a real Jersey hood picture right here. Look like,
and the guy, the big dude in the middle, AJ, he from Miami. Then a guy off to the side, Al, he from Philly. You feel me?
That's a hell of a combination right there.
You feel me? So I was running around school carrying a Chrome 45. I was really on my Miller Holmes
Drew Rock,
about to get busy because I was angry.
Did you have any of your peers? And then your peers come to you and like, yo, my man, come on, man, get back on that track shit? Yeah,
No, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, fam, and I'm glad you said that. What really hurt me the most was I remember going home. I'm 19,
Peace to Mal, peace to Dorian,
and I'm in the
peace to the
room
general.
with, and I ain't gonna say his name, with one of my cousins. This nigga looked at me and was like, "Man, I thought you was gonna be something."
Damn.
You feel me?
a
Now,
hard
mind
way
you,
to say it.
right? I'm in college though. I ain't no bum on the street.
Nah, I hear what you're
You
saying.
feel me?
Right.
I'm still doing something, and that killed me too. And so, while I'm out there, this was, and I can say this because we all grown. I used to cop coke on sweets. This one it was $25 a gram.
On that one-way
So
street, huh?
you feel me? And so what I would do is I would come home, get my package. I would dress real preppy. I had a camouflage backpack. I'll sit it in one car on the Amtrak. I'll go to the next car. Met somebody down there. She let me hustle out of her house. Like I was really the illest nigga in Nebraska out there.
So about it.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, bro. So yeah.
So, but I'm happy. I'm happy that you letting it out. I'm gonna tell you.
That's a story, though, because it's to hear from someone like you said that reached in at that collegiate level to get to there. I mean, not collegiate, but I would say I guess scholastic level.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll say so. That's because, and the people like you saying, if that was football, everybody would have been like, yo, that's the money.
Thank you,
That's
B.
the
Thank
money.
you, B. Thank you, B.
Let's follow the
Thank
money.
you, B.
But the fact they didn't see the money in track.
Thank you, B.
That I think that's the reason why you didn't get the support from family and friends. And I'm not giving anybody excuses. Sad because I don't care if my son was playing pickleball. If he was the number one pickleball player, we'd be all over the states following him. Wouldn't even care. But everybody is raised differently, and like you said, that's your story, and I think you should tell it to more people because I'm pretty sure there's some other kids right now that's dealing with something similar. They may not have reached it yet, but maybe they're on their way, and they feeling like, why? I've coached some kids with immense talent.
Yes.
And you're wondering why he doesn't want it. And you're trying to bring it out of him, and you can't get the information. You know it's something stopping him. He or she has it all except for the support of the ones that love them the most. And they may love you as a coach, but it's not the same. It's not.
Right.
So even for, like I said, coaches, that's a story we should hear. Because now that you gave me clarity on maybe some reason why some of my athletes didn't do what I thought they could do. And it wasn't because, they didn't have the talent or they didn't have the drive. They got broken spiritually. And that's tough, man. At that age, in college they're getting broken. Can't imagine a teenager in high school, bro. But God bless that you are where you are now, and you can say it with pride. You know what I mean? You can't take away what you did, though.
So man, thank you, B. Because we could be here all night, and we're not rushing off now. Because now we got to get to, because he's my favorite state, one of my favorite states. It's a toss-up between the New York, and my family is from North Carolina. My family's from Chapel Hill. You're in Shaw. You. Now, I got to ask this. There's so many things. Because you started in 98. You graduate 2007. That means you took a longer route. You're going through times where you're homeless. You're going through times where you're hustling. Through all this time, you never gave up and you never took your eye off the prize. You knew what you were going to do, and you finished that task in 2007. Let's talk about that.
So, one of the things that really scared me was my dorm mate, God bless the dead. I was selling weed at the time on campus. Now
was it stems and sticks, or you had some of that good sticky? I'm trying to.
No,
I'm asking for a friend. No, I'm messing.
My nigga, I had that.
Yeah, that thing. That Zaza that he talk about.
Listen, I had the bud that had the red strand.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to carve out my little niche. So I'm the only nigga on campus selling weed in red baggies. Make it make sense, right? Because I'm trying
that
to
Trenton Central red right there.
right? You know what I
Like
mean?
you
So
say he telling on this stuff though. He's saying
exactly. So I had like
He got that. See that Trenton red? That's that Trenton red right there. That's the color of his
that's the color
bags.
of the baggies.
That's the color of the bags right there. We here, baby.
I had made a trip home. I had like 10 pounds, and my dorm mate was also the RA,
Yeah,
and he said, "Jameer, the police coming."
oh,
He said, "But they ain't coming for me. They coming for you."
sheesh.
He said, "But you can hide all of your weed in my trunk because they ain't gonna search me." That man saved my life. He passed away from an aneurysm a couple of years ago.
Wow.
I get a knock on the door. The first thing they say was, "Well, you the hot man, I heard." I'm like, nah. Now, mind you, I got my math book. I'm so unassuming. I ain't wear jewelry. I wasn't, none of that. I was like, "Nah, no, sir." He was like, "Well, we coming in to search your stuff." And I just got finished bagging up. And when they left, I was giving shit away. right? Like, here you go, here you go. But I said all that to say, like, God protected me in that moment because Sean could have just left me out to dry, man.
Yeah, he didn't have to say anything.
You understand? Yeah. And bro, on a school campus with that amount of weight, I'm under the jail.
Yep.
Right? And so after that, in 05, I had like I was doing my 1-2, 98, 99, 2000, in 05 I had my twins.
Ladies loved them. You could say it. The ladies loved you out there. You was coming out there. They look.
Right? So
the ladies was, is this before the Noop time? Did you become a Noop at this time?
No, I crossed in 07.
Okay. So they was loving you before then.
Oh, for sure.
So yes.
Oh, nah, Kappa ain't make me.
I want to be clear with that.
You go.
I want to be clear with that. The ladies was loving you.
Yeah. So
start having children.
What I did was I got a job at UPS. I did labor ready. And when I didn't have a car to drive, I would pack my work clothes in my backpack and run to work. And it's 5 miles one way. I would go there, do a shift, then run back home. When I fell on hard times, my brother was, he was at St. Aug. So I wouldn't sleep on the streets. He'd let me sleep in his bed. You know what I mean? I'd go shower, get dressed. I would eat out of trash cans to keep, to keep moving. But I always made class though. You feel me? Like I wasn't a funky dude in class at the time. I'm finessing chicks. I'm young. I'm a homeless sexual. So, you know what I'm saying? Right? But like you said, I never lost sight because out of all my cousins and my aunts and uncles, I am the first one to graduate from college.
Uncle Craig said perseverance. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. They watching.
Right. So I never lost sight, and I knew that I didn't want to go back to Trenton, and my family didn't know I was struggling. And so I knew that I remember getting my degree. The night that I got it, I was in the shower crying. Like I did it. Really? You feel me? Like I did it. And from there, I was like, I got a game plan. So yeah.
That's a phenomenal story. The stories keep getting better. The life keeps getting better with every pitfall. Man, I just see just like Uncle Craig said, perseverance that's coming.
That's big. That's the word right there.
Perseverance. And I got another word with a P. I gotta say player because the man is a player too. Now first of all, a married man.
I am.
Father.
Yes.
Of 4 or 3?
5. And
5.
I'm about to be a grandpa.
And about to be a grandfather.
Okay. Congratulations.
Now, This is why I gotta congratulate. This is why I gotta say player. Cause B, man, I wish we had time to talk about everything. We can go for 5 hours. Jermaine, can we please make sure we go again? So,
for sure.
I gotta talk about this when I'm hearing this, cause I wasn't there in real time. B, you got some good lines. I'm sure you had some that work. I told you my best line was and I had too many lines. You know, my game chose for me. It spoke for me when I said, "Yo, you hungry?" I could probably use that line now. Say, "You hungry? Let's go to Family Flavor." Girls just throwing them at me. Ain't that right, Sue? See, all I gotta say is like, "Yo, what's up? You trying to eat? Let's get some Family Flavor. The best food truck on the planet.
Get them brisket fries going.
You know what I'm saying? I could just say something like that little salmon burger. You don't eat meat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We get salmon burger. Now, a jerk burger. I'm sorry. Whatever. All of them, they got it. Yo, Soup, you ready for this line? Soup, you ready for this line?
I'm ready.
He meets his woman, his partner, his life partner, his wife. In Chapel Hill, North Carolina, beautiful city. I love that's where my family's from. And he says, this is line to her. I don't date a woman if she doesn't have a passport. Let that sit. I don't date a woman if she doesn't have a passport. Soup. This is when he found his Soup, though. Because Soup's been married about 30 years, Soup? 31 years.
Okay.
This is when he found his Soup. Cause Jabir, I need you to say what your wife said to you.
Man, Jesus Christ. She basically, my wife had been to almost 30 countries before she met me. You know what I mean? And when I said it to her, you know what I mean, she was just like, well, we can continue this conversation then. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, again, I'm fresh back from overseas, and you know, I think I'm popping my ish. And the cool part about it was, you know, how I met my wife. I wasn't even gonna go out that night, and you know, it was a Noop function, and they playing musical chairs, but it's women in the chairs, so you know, you dance on the women when they go around. And all I kept hearing was, "Go ahead, green sweater. You better do it, green sweater." So came over, and she was like, "You a Kappa?" I was like, "Nah, I'm a Nuke, baby." And I was like, "Well, I don't talk to a woman, you know, if she don't have no passport." I didn't know I was talking to Carmen Sandiego. So we wound up talking, and I stepped off and danced with another chick. No lie, my wife wrote her name down, came in between me and a woman, and gave me her number and walked out the door.
Okay.
And I left that woman standing there, and it's been 13 years later.
Player. Yo, both of them.
She put the moves on him.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Yo, I thought I was talking to a player until I found out, no, the wife is a player too. They playing to win. That's what they doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they playing and holding each other down.
He left that slippers. Like, that's the slipper.
There you go. that's Cinderella.
That slipper.
That's Cinderella.
Yeah.
Yo, we always talk about relationships and couples and stuff like that. That happens every once in a while on the show. I'll be telling Soup, pray for me, you know, make sure. I want to be married one day.
Oh, Lord, I'm working.
See, we appreciate that, Soup. I don't know if you can hear all that stuff. You know,
She said she working.
said she working, y'all. She working. So, this right here is from your page. You said you can't share your dreams with everyone. Now, I'm going to fast forward just a little bit, y'all. Like, you know, he told you, we discussed the stories about college. We discussed the stories about work. When he just said overseas, now he's been overseas educating, doing all kinds of just phenomenal work when you're out there playing football. He ain't even played football for Trenton, but he went, I think it was at Abu Dhabi? That's where you are?
Yeah, uh-huh.
I feel confident when I say Abu Dhabi. I like the way I said that. I ain't stutter on it. I never been there. He's going overseas, playing football. That's him running touchdowns, kickoffs back. Like, he is well traveled. and he's working all over. You're talking about in some of your stories. I'm gonna get to your wife. You're talking about. First of all, everybody make sure y'all follow. I don't know if I could say follow your page. I'm watching you. I'm watching you talk. I don't want to say that because now your wife is gonna say, don't look. It better be the business page. I'm lost for words for just so many places where you've been, how much work you have done, education, teaching police ESL. We I want to get into the police story, but I don't want to get off your wife just yet with her support for you. Mm-hmm. Because you've been well traveled. You're working from a teacher's assistant, from teaching yourself, and from, like I said, you're a working man. You are providing. Mm-hmm. And now it gets up to the pandemic where the world starts changing. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you, I feel I became a better host when the pandemic came because I had to start watching myself. Mm-hmm. I'm playing old episodes on Facebook. I'm like, no, I got to get better. It was a determination. Like, yeah, some people might just like this. I'm not cool with it. I want more. And I always say when I started this show, I said I want to do God's work.
That's right.
By praising. That was my mission. And I said I'm going to praise people within this hair community. And we see, first of all, you get busy with the haircut. Shout out to your barber over there. Whoever your barber, can we shout your barber out?
Yeah, man. Jay Razor, Refresh Barbershop in Vallejo. Yeah, he's the only person I let, really cut my hair. Been cutting it for 13 years, man.
God loves you more. He gets super busy. Shout out to him. Shout out to my barbers and the stylists. During this time, you say, I don't even want to get a haircut. You stop getting haircuts to provide money for a mission that you have. But before you had this mission, you shared your dream of what you wanted to do. And you want to provide a service. And to some people, if they say, I want to be the Amazon of resources for health, for whether it be mental health, physical health, and services for people who in need, you told your wife this. Let's talk about that conversation you had. Because we're going to talk about how we started off.
Yeah. Keeping it a buck, like, my wife was already established when I met her. When I met my wife, I was a teacher assistant and $12.50 an hour. Whenever I stayed at her house, I never left anything. I would pack up, make sure I ain't asked for no key or nothing. Went to Abu Dhabi because of her. And while I was there, I started the first mentor agency for young African-American men living in the United Arab Emirates. That's the first time in the country's history to have a black man start an agency like that.
Talk about it. Peace to Matt. Peace to Tiff.
I come back and we come back to California. Both of our fathers are sick. And, I get a job in the Sausalito Marin City School District in August of 2019. We know what 2020 brought.
Yes.
But what people don't know is that when I got hired, I had to help desegregate a school. It was the first desegregation act in 50 years in the state of California. And while I'm doing it, March rolled around and world shut down. I tell my superintendent in the cabinet, because I was a community school director, so I'm a school admin. I said, give me 24 to 48 hours, I'm going to create something. And what I did was I went to each nonprofit and said, what is it that you do great? Do you want to be a part of this co-op where we can help diversify your services? So I created a woman named Gina Riso helped me create a website. We had 7 teams. We had a team specifically for elders, 24-hour crisis hotline, academics, so on and so forth. You would go to this website, pick your team. We would respond within 35 to 45 minutes.
Piece the town to check it. Yo.
Within a few hours, you would get all of your services.
What did your wife tell you?
She basically told me, I have a year, go chase your dreams. I quit my job because my wife supported me. And I said, baby, I have $1 million idea. And within 2 years, I'm the founder and executive director of the Marin County Cooperation Team, and we are now a multi-million-dollar agency.
Talk about it.
Yep.
Talk about it.
Yep.
I love this post right here when it says, let me talk my talk. In 2 years, my organization has created 14 jobs. That's real flex. Founder and executive director.
But what people don't know is that I'm in the third racist county in California. I'm the only black man in the history of Marin County to create an organization like mine. And it is one of the wealthiest counties in America.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
Coming from Miller Homes.
Miller Homes.
Coming from Miller Homes. We talking about Drew Rock,
Yeah.
who had the 4 or 5 on Shaw's campus, selling the good bud. God is the greatest.
Yeah.
God is the greatest. I'm so blessed to have Barry next to me, and as a friend, and some of my close friends who I could be vulnerable with, and I'm watching some of your talks, and when you talked about your father, I was just with Barry and his sons, for his youngest birthday party, and I have questions. I got one child. It is new for me, and when you go through these struggles, I don't like that another man has to go through struggle, but I like having the conversations to know, we're not alone out here. And you had one. Which one was it that you had? You had so many. You had so many things that was going on. You had a conversation with your father. And I think your father said, a warrior likes to drink. Oh, this what you said.
No, that's what I said.
Yeah, you said, a warrior likes to drink with a spear and shield. But what if he could drink with both hands? What if he could let his guard down?
Yep.
You have mentorship programs with different people, and I'm like, man, how does it feel when you have these programs where you could talk to other black men and they be like, yo, I go through this too?
I get a lot of thank you. Because whenever I start a talk, I have men cup their hands and put them over their face and then lower their hands, say, now you could take your mask off. And I share about, people don't know, I was emotionally and physically abused, and I'll share a story, because I know there's men out there with this story. I remember sitting.
The King movement is what it is.
Yeah, the King movement.
The King movement. When you're praying yes.
Yeah. I remember sitting on a blanket, and my uncle, he's a general. You feel me? But he was institutionalized, and I wasn't like I said, I tear shit up in the streets. I wasn't like that when I going home, and I was reading, preparing for the next grade, and he was like, he grabbed me, and he was like, and he put a gun in my head. He was like, Nick, I should rape you. And his girlfriend was the one who saved me. Yeah, bro. When I talk to men, and I'm vulnerable enough to say that, it's like a lot of men start crying. You know what I mean? Because they're releasing it, because they've been holding it. And, I developed psoriasis at 12 years old because even though I was good in track, I literally knew how I was going to kill myself at 12 years old.
That's crazy.
Because I hated going home. You know what I mean? So when I talk to other men, or even with the King movement, I met Chris on the flute. He had Kappa, right? But right, and I met him in June of 2019. My father died in August, and then my father-in-law died in December, and then my grandmother who raised me died in March of 2020. So the people, I was going through so much. And so when I share with people, like, these are the things that I went through, it's like, damn, I've been waiting for somebody to help me with this load. So I'm always willing to share. I don't care about being judged and things like that. So for the brothers that's out there who are going through, who are carrying childhood trauma, it's not your fault. You didn't do it. You know, you had no control over it. And I want you to lift your head up and like know that, it's always going to get better. It's always like talk about it, yo. Like holding it in got me with psoriasis on my head and my body, and you know what I mean? And so, and it's a disease that don't go away, but it was brought on because I was getting physically and mentally abused. So yeah, bro.
That's good. That's good advice. Definitely. Like you said, first, women all the time get told, to say to talk. I
Mhm.
don't really hear a lot of people telling the boys to speak up because I don't think they realize it's happening to the boys just as much as it's
Mhm.
happening to the girls, especially at a really young age. And a lot of them, like you said, carry it into anger,
Mhm.
and you don't understand why this kid's always upset, or. And that's the furthest thing from a lot of people's minds is that something's actually happening to this child. They always
Mhm.
say, "Oh, this kid's hard headed," or "This kid's not listening," or maybe he need medication. But nobody
Mhm.
finds the real. Nobody's willing to go there. Sometime I think people don't want to touch that subject.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
babe. And that's what I appreciate that you're doing that for the world. You got goals of changing the world.
Mhm.
I know you want the MCCT to be all across the country,
I
and,
do.
and, and it's going to happen. I feel when you say it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But before we wrap up,
Mhm.
and we mentioned home a lot
Mhm.
tonight throughout this conversation. When you went to Africa, you've been to several countries,
Mhm.
Ghana specifically.
Mhm.
First of all, shout out to everybody who has interviewed you. Shout out to all of them because I'm getting so much great insight. Getting so much great insight.
Mhm.
If we talk about your psoriasis,
Mhm.
and we talk about just coming home, can we talk about the power of Ghana, the power of Africa before we wrap up? Because I want to bring it home because you've been all across this country, and us as black people, sometimes we don't really get how beautiful Africa is. I've never been. I personally never been. I want to go, and I feel like I have to go. Can we talk about what it did for you mentally and physically when you were in Ghana on your trip?
Imagine getting off a plane and all you see is beautiful black faces everywhere you look, everywhere you turn. And when they hear your accent, they say, "Welcome home."
Yeah,
And
I like that.
and I've been to Durban, South Africa, been to Egypt, right? And I thought Durban was my favorite. South Africa was my favorite country. And my wife actually been going to Ghana since 1994. She trained teachers and things like that. And she was like, "Jameer, watch when you go." I was like, "I don't want to hear that." When I got there, I felt free. And what I mean by free is that I didn't, everywhere I looked, I saw someone who could be my relative. From the food to the hospitality to even being in the villages outside of Accra, I felt safe. And what a lot of people don't know is that I have 5 children. My 2 younger sons have autism. My 9-year-old was a selective mute. He started talking in Ghana.
Wow.
And that that place did something to my soul that I couldn't even describe. That the hardest thing for me being there though was visiting the slave dungeons at the Elmina Castle. And this is where the door of no return is. And I wouldn't let my sons go into the dungeons because I do believe in spirits. But I went into the first room when you come into the courtyard. It's a UNESCO site now, so they keep it white so it doesn't look dilapidated. But
You
I
get a
remember
point for
going,
that last word you just said.
Dilapidated.
Like, dilapidated. I never heard that word. He's a well read man. We not gonna get into all the books that he's been reading since 12 years old. He's 12 years old and read autobiography of Malcolm X.
yeah.
Well traveled, well read. Keep going.
So going into it, it is where if let's say Jay is sick and you sick and you're not sick, they're both going to leave you in that room to die together. And when I went into the room, I literally start crying and apologizing to my ancestors because the floor is raised because of all the skin and bones and stuff over the hundreds of years. And I just start crying and I said, I'm sorry what they did to you. I'm sorry what they did to you. And I come out and I look across the courtyard and I see where they kept the male slaves. And it's down in a dungeon. And the way that they would feed them was through a trough that they would just throw food down. And then you walk deeper into the dungeon and you come to the door of no return, which is probably not wider than your computer screen. And that is where they would turn the slaves sideways and push them out to the boats that were waiting. And then when you come around, you come to where they kept the female slaves. And up top on the second floor is where the masters would stay. And they would peek down and pick which slave woman they wanted to rape. And if they resisted, it's a hole in the middle of the courtyard covered by a wooden door. They would just open the door and throw the woman to the ocean. And for 2 days, I didn't talk. I was just so done, and I just kept crying and crying and crying. But what restored me was just being amongst my people. I'm telling you, man, like Africa, the continent, is magical. And I ask for brothers and sisters who have never been, they got skyscrapers, they got, like if I showed you the home where I live, it had 3 levels, marble floors, got a maid, like all of that. And I lived in Abu Dhabi. And Abu Dhabi is the wealthiest city in the world. I had a driver, a nanny, pushed a few,
A driver and a nanny. I think he get bonds for a driver and a nanny. Be out that's something different right there.
But yeah, man, I would say for brothers and sisters.
Your psoriasis. It was psoriasis. How did it affect it?
Oh, it cleared up.
That's what's up.
It literally cleared up, and it didn't come back really until I came back to America. We were there for 12 days. The food was healthy, the water was clean. I wasn't stressed, nothing. So yeah,
man, Jamal. But before we peace to everybody on the check-in, peace to Keisha from LIU, peace to Linwood. I feel like the fake Jameer is watching too. I don't know if that's you on the because it say Jameer Renner. I'm like, remember it's a fake one out there.
Nah, I was sending it to my folks.
Okay, long as everybody's watching. Peace to everybody who's watching. Make sure y'all share, y'all like, subscribe, BKS1 Radio TV, all that good stuff. To bring stuff before we close out full circle, when we went to 30 years ago, the Jesse Owens Arco Games, one of the things that was so amazing, and Soup, I so apologize. She gonna whoop me for this, but I think she loves you too. Because when Soup is real quiet, she either saying, if this boy don't hurry up, or she's saying, I like this man right here. Because you talking spiritual. She's a woman of God, for real. But just don't waste her time either, just like you. So yes, I know you, Soup. 30 years ago, they took us to Cali. Well, we earned a spot to get to Cali. And while we're out there, we go to Disneyland. And I thought it was so amazing how on April 12th, you took the youth from California to Disneyland, I said, man, look at God. Look how the world just changes. Because we were there. We were them. At one point, we having a ball watching Captain EO all in Disneyland running around out there in Cali. And now you're back out there from where you started. Was that your first flight?
Yeah.
Your very first flight. So now, been all around the world. And it took you back to that same state that has changed your life.
Yep.
And you're doing God's work out there. And I'm so proud of you. We don't have enough time tonight to cover everything.
Right.
Because it's other people I want to talk about. I want to talk about the way Mr. Long helped you out in high school. One of the guys, we talking about Nia Long Pops, who kept you on course. Who made sure. I just found out tonight that Lou Pops, that Mr. Smith, was a guidance counselor. I'm like, Lou, how did y'all know each other? He's like, yo, my Pops was a guidance counselor. I said, what? I said, all the time you just now telling me this.
Yeah.
So Jermaine, we got so much more.
For sure.
Can we? Is it safe to say we can have you on again?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Let's do it. Shout out to Maya.
Yeah.
That's your assistant.
Yeah.
Yo, B. So this is when I get gas. He has an assistant. I'm like, when do we get assistants? I felt honored. She was like, yes. I'm calling for John Mayer Reynolds. I'm his assistant. I was like, yo, this is dope right here. And
That means you busy, man.
that means he's busy.
Yeah.
What I love, he's never too busy for me.
For sure.
For his family, for his friends that are not. Because right now you're important again, I guess, to some of those. Well, I thought you made it. Can we say that you made it?
I am a published academic author, and my work is registered at the National Library of Medicine.
Let's talk about it. For when they asked him in college, I thought he was going to make it.
He said, go ahead and check that out.
Yes, check the stats.
How about that?
Check the stats. I'm like, yo. So when International Service Community Award winner, did he make it? I think he did. I think he's still making it, and you still making a difference. When he got over 14 employees, I think he is still making it. When you have annual dinners, when you got white women quitting their job because they're believing in your dream,
She's an attorney.
She's an attorney, quitting their job because they believe in your dream. I can safely say you're making it. You're making that difference. When you step in arenas and he's coming out, Russell Simmons, one of my favorite CEOs, when he goes into arenas and he's wearing his shells and jeans. And they have to respect him. When you had to check some people because they didn't want to speak to you, and you had to let them know, oh, not a guy who had this polo on and these Timbs on. No, I'm the boss right here. I can say that you are making it. When you got white women that are in the room who are taking all the notes and they say, oh, yeah, but you have to talk to my boss right here. The man in charge. You are making it.
I think what shocks a lot of people, like in 2021, we won the Echo and Green Award. And like what a lot of people don't know about this award is like only 2% of people in the world, it was 1,500 people, 100 different countries. They chose 19 of us from 9 different countries. And the people who won this award before me was Michelle Obama and Van Jones. So when I tell people, like, you don't know what I got to, but, I pop my collar every now and then.
Let's do it. And you looking fly when you do it. I got like 3 suits I want to borrow and a car. So I want this suit to match with I think it's the Burgundy Benz. For the weekend when I get out there. Jameer, I love you to death, man.
Love you too, man.
I love you to death. I'm gonna call you soon. Can we give who do you want to give a shout out to?
My wife.
Yes.
All of my children, Jordan, Scarlett, Aiden. My twins just started college this week.
Salute to them.
Khalil and Amir, and everybody is supporting me. But
how many college acceptance letters? I'm sorry, we can flex right now. Did they get?
Combined 60.
60.
That's what's up.
Doing it right.
That's what's up, man.
But again, Jay, I really want to thank you. You've been, you know, a blessing in my life when I was 14, and you continue to be a blessing. You know, I always reach out no matter what it is, and you know, it feels real good to have a genuine friendship that even though we didn't speak for damn near 20 years, we picked up
Like it was yesterday.
So
Like it was just yesterday. Like we was just out in Cali. And that's a beautiful feeling. Vice versa. It's a beautiful feeling, Jabez. Thank you so much. I'm gonna have more stuff that I'm gonna send you.
All right.
Do you have, before we close, I'm gonna hit you on the phone with that one.
Okay.
Cause we're gonna talk about it. The clippings. I couldn't find the clipping of the. Do you have any of your clippings from back in the day?
I believe I do. Yeah.
All right, because I couldn't find them and I wanted them, and just thank you so much, and I'm super proud of what you're doing.
Well, you guys have a great night, and Jay, I'll be talking to you, bro.
Definitely.
All right, fam.
Have a good one, Jabez.
All right.
Appreciate you. Shout out to my barber, shout out to my stylist, shout out to everybody who's been rocking with us this whole time. Thank you, Sue. But we gotta get up out of here, y'all. We are Beards and Baldheads. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We off for Labor Day.